President Biden on Tuesday signed a new executive order on immigration that'll drastically tighten the border by temporarily turning away migrants seeking asylum once a daily threshold is met. That's unless asylum seekers meet certain exemptions. The action takes effect immediately and comes as President Biden faces increasing political pressure over the influx of migrants at the southern border. Senior correspondent Joanna Gagas has the details.
Today, I'm announcing actions to bar migrants who cross our southern border unlawfully from receiving asylum.
While New Jerseyans were focused on the primary election yesterday, President Biden was announcing an executive order to close the southern border.
Migrants will be restricted from receiving asylum at our southern border unless they seek it after entering through an established lawful process.
The announcement brought immediate blowback from human rights groups and immigration advocates. The ACLU and other national groups announcing they'll sue the Biden administration like they did when President Trump enacted the same rule to ban travel from African and majority Muslim countries.
This feels like such a betrayal of trust.
Amy Torres from the New Jersey Alliance for Immigrant Justice says the idea of immigrants being welcomed in like they were at Ellis Island generations ago couldn't be further from the reality at the southern border.
We've created a bottleneck system at the border where you need to set up appointments so far in advance, that there are so few appointments, that there's such a backlog of cases, there are so few attorneys, that we've essentially forced people to pass through the eye of a needle just to be able to get to the southern border.
Dante Apostegui is a Rutgers law student who just returned from a visit to migrant camps at the southern border. He says the system called CBP-1, used to manage asylum seekers' cases, is completely backlogged.
A lot of them are fleeing harm and danger. And some of the things that we saw, for one, is that there are not enough appointments on the CBP-1 app. Most of the people that we met and we connected with at the southern border have been waiting for 9 months in these shelters. A lot of them with children, with families, uncertain about when that appointment will come up for them.
A bipartisan deal in Congress to address border issues crumbled in February when former President Trump urged Republicans not to pass it, saying he wanted to use it as a campaign issue. The bill was up for a vote again in the U.S. Senate last week, but was shot down by Republicans and progressives, including New Jersey's junior Senator Cory Booker. Republican Congressman Chris Smith has also decried the president's executive order, though for different reason. He said in a statement that it fails to fully secure the border and excludes significant provisions needed to stop the growing national security and humanitarian crisis. Biden isn't fooling anyone with his election year trick. Seth Copperdale serves immigrants in need of shelter and says this will only worsen the crisis.
What's going to happen is folks who've desperately come to the border seeking asylum are going to send their children across alone now. They came as a family unit. They're going to send their children by themselves. And why? Because Joe Biden just created a family-breaking policy.
And he says it'll only alienate progressive voters.
He's going to really hurt on that front because the people who are already going to vote for him because they're never Trump people, we're going to vote for him anyway. And those who were trying to stomach voting for him, this might just be the thing that puts them over the edge to say,
In the end, these groups believe their lawsuits will prevail in the courts, but they say their trust has already eroded in the Biden administration and our nation's ability to pass any kind of meaningful immigration reform. In Newark, I'm Joanna Gagas, NJ Spotlight News.